Welcome to the Taco Bane podcast. I am Kylie Montigny, and today we are so excited to have Júlia Dezotti as a guest today. Julia is a Brazilian television and cinema actress known for playing the main character in the Brazilian show Ligação Direta and Virgínia Woolf 1 and 2 and the villain in the movie Equality. She's already in the cast of 3 movies and 2 TV shows. She's a bilingual, practices sports, and explores other areas besides acting, like singing and dancing. Started her career when she was 10 years old, filming a series for such a famous open channel in Brazil called SBT. In 2024, she's filming a movie called Bandstand with 2 renowned actors in the country, on which she plays one of the main characters too. Julia has already worked with important actors in Brazil like Alexandre Borges, Gabriel Godoy, Juliana Martins, and more. She has been nominated for the Platinum Award for Best Actress in Ibero-American Cinema in 2023, competing with lots of artists she really appreciates. Thank you so much, Julia, for joining us today on the Tuck of Pain podcast. I am so excited to have you on today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a big honor to be here with you.
So, the first and foremost, what inspired you to pursue a career in acting at that 10 years old, which is crazy?
Like a crazy thing is that in my family, I don't have a relative that is an artist. I am the first one. So it's so crazy because I don't even know where this came from. But since I'm a child, I always love to record videos and to speak. I'm so talkative. And I started wanting to be a YouTuber. And after I wanted to be a dancer. And after I wanted to be a singer. And then I decided that I wanted to be an actress. And my parents said, okay, so let's try to make it real. And here we are running for make this come true.
I love it. I love how your parents were so supportive of all that. Once you want to do all these things, they're like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Like, Miles will do it while she's 10 years old rather than starting later.
And they didn't know nothing about this world. And they are so supportive. They are amazing.
Yeah, in my family, I have no one in my family that's artistic either. So I understand about that because my parents don't know really about what this podcasting is. So I understand on that one, but I mostly started this podcast from scratch by myself and had to do so much research to the point where I'm just now all brain fog with how much it is. Like it's just a matter of okay, how much information is in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's this.
It is. But what was kind of like your first acting experience at 10 years old?
My first experience was a TV show called Restricted Area, and it was exhibited in SBT. It's a very famous open channel here in Brazil. So it was kind of so crazy because I was a fan of SBT and then I was there and it was my first experience. I literally was starting everything, and it's crazy to see how things have changed.
It's so crazy. Like to see being on a show that you watched before to be your first acting experience. Like what a world for you to go on a show that you kind of loved and watched and then you're appearing on it.
It was like a dream that came true.
I know. Like, what was it like for you when you went on set? Like, did you kind of freak out or what was it like for you?
Really, a lot. Like when I got in SBT for the first time, when I was there, like, oh my gosh, I am here. And I was so nervous that I didn't even have fun because I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do there. I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing here.
Like honestly, I'd be the same way. I would not have fun. I'd be staying there in awe, like, what am I doing here at 10 years old as my first role? Like honestly, I would think I would go
Yeah.
like an act like a commercial or something, but to get into a movie or like a TV show that you absolutely loved, I would be like, I'm just gonna sit here and freak out the whole time. Might as well rather than have fun, because this is like the biggest dream ever. You just came out with a new film called Forever. Can you tell us kind of a little bit about the storyline, the characters in the film?
Yes, this movie is completely different from everything I have ever done because it's like a story book on which we have lots of stories inside. And these stories talk about bonds and friendships and problems. So we have action, we have lots of feelings together and lots of genders together on it. And I played Victoria, and she was such a kind girl, but sometimes she was a little rude, and it was kind of a challenge to play her, but it was so good. And to play a story that is inside another story, it's so confusing, but it's so good.
I would be so confused too on it. What storyline am I paying attention to? Because of course, when you're filming a TV show or movie, there are multiple storylines happening at once to the point where you just like, hold up, what did I miss since I was
Yes.
filmed here?
I
I
don't
know.
know, like,
Yeah, I know. Like, what? How did you like change like your characters, style so quickly? Because of course they were two different people at points. So like, how did you kind of change that style a little bit?
I think in here in Brazil, I don't know what happens in the United States, but here in Brazil, we have kind of a casting preparer,
Mm.
and we have lots of meetings together, and she helps us to build our characters from the scratch, like, and we have lots of reflections, and it is so crazy because I try to use my personal stuff on my characters, but some people say that it's not good, so I already tried lots of methods. And for this character Victoria, I used the personal stuff one, and it was so good. It was a construction based on Julia, not on another person. It's so good.
I actually like that they kind of use a little bit for you instead of this reimagining, because I know with a lot of people, especially here in the United States, prepared to just reset their imagination rather than just really sitting on themselves. Like I know with the United States, it's kind of similar to what Brazil has. Like of course you have meetings to kind of switch over. But of course, every country is different in acting, the
Yeah.
point where you just don't know what other countries are doing.
Yeah, and it's totally different. I read some things about preparation in the United States. It's completely different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
That's
completely
insane. I
different.
did not know that because of course every country is different. But I did
Yeah.
not think it was so different. Of course, acting industry is always, changing in today's world, but I would never think it's so much different in each country besides, the languages, that sort of thing.
But it is like, I don't know, and I don't know if it's right, but on which the magazine I read, they said that there in the United States they have codes like for each actor. Here we don't have. We act as a group, like everyone helping each other to make things get linked, like a
Like that's
relationship.
something we actually don't have. That is something I can actually agree on. It's something we don't have. I mean, a lot of people call me I'm not an actor, so I don't know. But I know, like from things I read, we do have that. So if any actor friends have experience, just put in comments, and we'll love to hear things. Because I don't know like how that is like, but it can be very much a cult. That is something that we kind of see a lot happen, especially in acting, and especially in the US. I don't know how other countries are, but I know in the US we do.
Yeah, I'm back.
But as you have already been part of movies and series casts, like what was kind of like the difference for you between both of them when filming?
Between both, I think the time we spend filming, like movie is quite faster. Series we spend much more days filming, and I don't know, it's not so different. We just have differences in the script. The script is a little different because the series is episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and the sometimes it has like 20 or 10 pages, but the movie one it's like 80 pages. It's so different, but it doesn't have like lots of differences. It's more the time we spend and the time
Mhm.
we have to prepare ourselves and the roles. It's so different. Movie is works like very fast, and series we have a great time.
Like with the series, like I feel like it's like much less stress in terms of rushing. So of course, with different series, you get really only the pages for that
Yeah.
episode rather than a whole movie, which is like 80 to maybe 100 pages, for example. So like it's like you're just less overwhelmed with the pages to the point where it's kind of laid back and it's only focused on
Yeah.
that episode rather than a whole movie itself, even though it can be much slower than you really expect or used to because of course the movies are much quicker, but it can be just so hard to adjust, but of course much more calming to film a series.
Yeah, it's completely like I feel less overwhelmed when I'm filming a series because I don't know, the script just because it has less pages, I think, oh, I'm not so overwhelmed. But I love both experiences. Now I'm filming a movie and everything is faster. We're always running, but it's so good too.
Honestly, I would feel the same way. Like with a series, I would feel like less overwhelmed just because we're going very slow and kind of enjoy it more. But I also love the fast-paced environment where we just get quick,
Yeah.
quick, quick to the point where I just want to get done. So it's like there's mixed emotions with it, but it can be very overwhelming when you're in a fast environment trying to figure out like what am I doing? Like what am I supposed to do with myself right now that we're in a
Oh,
fast
that
pace?
word. Yeah, it's this.
But of course, what was, your favorite part about working on Forever? Like, do you have any kind of favorite parts that stuck out to you when filming?
I think I love to challenge myself. So I think one of my favorite pages it was kind of to understand the story I'm in and the story this story is in because we have lots of plot twists in this movie. So kind of it's good to uh get improved as an actress, I don't know. But my cast friends, my director, what's this? People are amazing, and I love the experience of having to deal with different stories. It's this.
Yeah, based of course with being an actor, you deal with plot twists probably every second you get. You see it tons in TV shows or movies, and you're like, Now I have to do it. What's the difference?" Like I see on television,
Yeah.
and now I actually am doing it myself. Like, what's the difference besides you're actually watching it on TV? And like when doing that, it can be, a pain to actually figure out, like, okay, like what am I gonna do to approach a spot twist in a way that people will actually like it?
Yeah. It's like when I'm filming something with lots of plot twists, I get like for me, it's getting like things are being explained because I'm filming it and it's like slow. But when
Hmm.
people watch it, will they understand? Or
Yeah, like
it
will
will
they understand as much as I will, or will they be confused to the point where they don't want to watch it anymore? It can be either or.
Yeah. Sometimes I just ask myself, like, oh my God, is this script right?
I
Will people
know. I also am
believe
the
it?
same way. I'm like, is this script actually what I'm thinking of, or am I going crazy, or I'm just not understanding this part? And as a Brazilian actor, like, how do you think like your upbringing and background in Brazil has kind of influenced your work as an actor?
Here in Brazil, we don't even have in our schools like so much support for art. In US, you have so much more support, more classes.
Mhm.
So, and I live in a small city and I don't have access to nothing in this area. So I didn't neither have where to start, like what do I do? But with my parents' support, we started to search for schools and to travel every weekend. And I think my parents were so supportive. And these schools, studying, it just helped me. And I didn't have here in my city and in my school sport, but we had to run for it to find it, you know?
That's great that your parents is so supportive. So of course, for every country, not everyone has resources as kind of what we do in the United States. Because of course, in the United States, we have a bunch of colleges that are based off of, dramatic arts, acting, music, kind of that sort of thing. But with, maybe countries like Brazil or England, for example, they might not have the same resources or skills or things that we do in the United States, which makes it harder for actors like you to actually learn and find the resources to really gain to become a better actor. Which you just wish I really wish every country had resources and kind of like what we did in the US.
Yeah, US is so developed in this area. Like it's every actor's dream is to be in US, I think.
Mhm. I know, it really is. I know I talked like last couple of weeks ago. I talked to a guy from Switzerland, and he literally moved from Switzerland to the United States to become an actor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people love acting so much to the point where they'll move from a different country in their family to become an actor. I'm like, oh my gosh, how can people do
Yeah,
that? I would
I
never.
would
Like,
do
I
this.
could never do
I
that.
would do this.
Like
One day
it's
I will.
nothing bad. It's nothing bad. You like to all actors have moved to different countries. Honestly, I would too. But I would feel bad at first. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving my family. Like how I would just doubt my instincts in a hot minute. It would never
You
go.
left everything behind in Switzerland to go to US.
Yeah, it's nothing bad. You're just like, might as well, like, as long as you're really passionate about being an actor, like and you're spending money on it and doing whatever you want, that's the most important thing. You're growing, getting roles. It's like, of course, here we have Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York. So, you can go anywhere instead of like going to one certain place.
Yes. He really loves acting because
I
from
know, yeah.
Switzerland.
Of course, you're moving from a country to US, become an actor. Like that takes a lot. Honestly, I would just
But
probably
you
move
do.
back within a month if I were
You
him.
had a life there and you left everything behind to have another life.
I
Yes,
know.
totally.
I'd be like, this isn't real. Like, I know people that move from different countries to New York, LA, or whatever. I'm just like, you are a strong person because I could never move that far. And it'll take a village for me to move 2 hours away rather than moving to a different country.
Yes, it's moving is hard.
It really could. But of course, like how was it working with renowned actors like Brazil, like Alexandre Borges and Gabriel Godoy? Like what was kind of like working with them?
Oh, it was such an awesome experience because they are so renowned here in Brazil.
Mhm.
And I am a fan of their work. And working with them, I learned a lot. It was like a
Mhm.
class, not just because of having the opportunity of acting by their side, but we we talked a lot, conversated. Oh my God. We talked a lot and we had conversations and we had laughter. And I learned about their career, about their process, and this is so good for me. Like I'm starting and they already have a career, and this was amazing to have more knowledge in this area. And in the beginning, I got a little nervous because like I love them and to be by their sides like crazy, but it's such a rich experience.
That's great. They had such a great experience. Because honestly, when you like with a lot of actors, right? Of course, with being so big, a lot of actors can be really rude and stuck up, and a lot of people had bad experience with actors, not just in the U.S., but of course in
Yeah,
Brazil or whatever you
yeah,
are base. But it's great to see like people actually having great experiences with
yeah.
actors on set rather than having bad experiences.
I already heard lots of stories of bad experiences, but they are so sweet and so, I don't know, they are so kind. And I I didn't have any experience on which I said, oh my gosh, but I already heard lots of stories that were
Mhm.
terrible.
Yeah, like, and I pray to God that it doesn't
Yeah,
happen because I could not imagine how it would feel if I dealt with that. Like, I really feel bad for the people that dealt with that, but I could not imagine actually having to myself. Like, I could just lose it. Like to really, especially if you looked up to them and you loved them growing up, it makes it so much worse.
yes, so much worse. Like, uh, you love them and then you just have all your love broken out. Like,
Yeah, you just all the love that you have for them is basically gone and you just don't like them anymore,
yeah,
which is true.
yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, people can have hard, bad days. People can, have just rough days and just don't want to talk to anyone, but just rude to everyone. Like not just the one time. Like one time is understandable, but two, like a million times, I'm just like, gosh, what is wrong with this person to be rude with their fans immediately made up their
yeah.
upbringing? I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you being so
Totally.
rude?
You're being rude to your fans, but they are everything you have. Like, if you're
Exactly.
there, it's because of them. Like,
Yeah, they made you famous, dude. Like, they made you
yeah,
famous. Why not be grateful? Like, why not just take time for one picture for 2 seconds and then you're out of your day? That's all it takes. But to wrap this episode up, like, what are some like, kind of like your upcoming projects that you're working on?
oh, I'm filming this movie, The Bandstand, with these actors, and it's gonna be available for public like just next year. And now I am writing some scripts that I want to try to produce like on my own with um with my friends in area. We wanna try, and I am in a cast from a series. I can't say lots of things, but from a series so cute, so lovely, the story. And I am almost in a movie cast already. So I am trying to make this script real to, I don't know, to just make art. I don't like, yeah, this I have the script I write and I want to try to make it real. I am in a cast of a series and a cast of a movie, and it's this.
Hmm.
I
That's all you can
it's this.
say. That's all I can say from here. But that's really awesome that you basically already booked up like for different things. Like you're staying busy, which is awesome. Honestly, I wish I had so many things going on like that. But that's a part of making art, you know? You're busy all the time doing
Yeah.
different things, and that's how you grow the resume.
Yes, totally. And making art is what I love too, and it's not an easy like because booking a role is kind of so hard,
Hmm.
but now we're walking.
Yeah, it takes a village. Things can be very hard to be an actor. Actors can, it's very hard to be an actor, but once, you start getting things that work out, that's the most important thing, and you're working hard for it, that's because it takes a village. Everyone gets no's, like more no's and yeses, which is so difficult, which I would never be able to handle personally. But being an actor, you have to be so tough. Like
Yeah.
it takes a village. And to really get those roles that you wanted is very exciting. And to be booked up, you're like, okay, what can I do with my
Yeah.
life after this filming gets done?
Yeah, and when you're finishing a project, it's like, oh my God, and what am I gonna do now? Because not always you will have a next project to go.
Yeah, and
So
plus, like, who knows, you might start another project like a commercial in a few weeks. So it's not like you're just sitting there for a month, like months at a
yeah,
time.
and when you don't have a project to go on after finishing one, you get so nervous because it is such a hard career.
It
But
is.
we try.
Yeah, right? It can be so difficult, but once you book that project, your confidence will definitely boost that you're actually booking something. Because of course, if you don't book for a certain time, you get very nervous and antsy thinking like, why am I not booking anything? But of course, when you do, you're like, okay, I'm getting my magic back. It's a matter of actually getting there and booking more things.
Yes. This career is so crazy.
It
Just
really is.
crazy lives.
Exactly. And I think that's a really amazing way to wrap up this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you so much, Julia, for joining us today. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time with us today. I definitely think that viewers that are tuning in will definitely take away from your work. And I really appreciate all that you're doing and looking forward to see what else you are doing in the future and all the newest projects you're working on.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for your such kind words. It's amazing to be here with you. I love your podcast. I listened to lots of episodes already, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. That means the world. And thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and I'll see you guys in the next episode as released. So